Hi, everybody. How are you? This is the video for news and notes for next week, which is going to be November 1st on Monday. I've completed all of the assignments for Module 1 and provided feedback to you. And mostly what I do for shorter assignments, sorry, for shorter assignments and things that are graphic organizers, I will download the document if I can't see everything on the screen, and I'll read through it, and then I'll provide feedback on the screen itself in the window about specific things that I want to comment on. And if it's something I can't see on the screen, then I'll add that into that little box. And then I'll usually write you a note in the box, an overall impression of the work. And then I always use the rubric. I don't often write things in the rubric boxes because I've usually mentioned it in the other two places. So occasionally I will, especially if I take points. So if I do point reduction for something, I will always tell you either in the box on the screen, in the feedback box, or inside the rubric why I've done that. If I get into a role of grading and I don't tell you that, please reach out to me because the whole idea of feedback is to improve. And when we have feedback to our students, we want them to improve. And I am there as well. So it's important that if you make an error in some way in an early assignment, that you address it so that you don't lose those points in a later assignment. So I would say the feedback that you received was overwhelmingly positive. The case study assignment, and then also the assignment where you have to look at your characteristics as an instructional leader. I was frankly blown away with the level of work of this particular section. Gorgeous prose, well written, great APA citation, well edited. And I would say, huge percentage of students lost few, if any, points because the content was stellar and the papers were well edited. Occasionally, I took points, and not a ton of points, but I did take points this time for word usage issues, grammatical errors, run-on sentences. And I only did that if I saw the issue pop up several times. So if it was just one issue, sometimes even two issues, and it was small, I would mention it, but I wouldn't take points. If I just highlight one and make a comment, and I did take points, then you can assume that I found that error throughout. So I guess my recommendation would be this. As teachers, we know that we're under a microscope in terms of the way that we present information verbally and in writing. Well, administrators, it's even worse. It's definitely up a notch. So you are not only going to be communicating with stakeholders in the community and your own teachers and other families, the parents, but you'll be communicating up to district and statewide offices. And so your ability to communicate effectively is really, really important. So the content is 100% what I care about. And it is worth, if you look at the rubrics, it's always worth more points. However, I'm just going to ask you just to take a minute and make sure that the way that you say something is clean and clear, and that you're citing your sources, and that your sentences are short enough to allow for the reader to grasp everything you're saying, but complex in their structure to make it interesting to the reader. So there's a balance there. At any rate, I'm looking forward to Module 2. And please make sure that you're using the sources that are within the module. And it is beyond just the textbook. So I think you've noticed we have the DeWitt book in the first half of the class, and then we have the other instructional leadership book in the second half of the class. But there are also lots of other resources. So when you're citing a resource in your discussion post, perhaps use a different resource in your learning log, and then consider to use different resources within assignment. The DeWitt will be a pretty powerful resource that you will be asked to use in the assignments. But the other resources are also great. And I noticed that you guys are using lots of resources and citing them. So that's fantastic. Several people are saying they don't have the books. So please be aware that the DeWitt book is available on Kindle. I think it's only $13. It's a reasonably priced book. So please, if you're waiting for it to come, and you can return that book when it comes, or you don't mind a Kindle book, I would do the Kindle book and not wait, because it's really, this week especially, you're going to be digging deep into DeWitt and you're going to need it in order to complete the assignments. If you're turning in assignments late, recognize that I do appreciate an email letting me know that it's going to be late, or if you don't do that within the box of the assignment, letting me know, I do appreciate that. I really rarely will take points off for late work if it's just the first time. If it becomes an issue and we haven't discussed it over time, then I'll probably reach out to you. And then if I'm not able to receive a response, then I may take points. But to be honest, that's just not where I'm at. I would rather wait for a beautifully done assignment, one that's going to help you grow. For those of you that are seeking your administrator license, through this program because you're planning on being a school leader of some type, I would recommend that you become a school leader today, just right now. Get your hand in the air and ask to be placed on special committees, school improvement, professional development, ask for additional training and opportunities, um, ask to meet with your school principal, and even your instructional coaches and district instructional coaches, and share with them your plans. In fact, an instructional coaching job is a great stepping stone to being a school leader, and it should actually be on the path that you choose in order to become a leader, because we're really not looking for managers, though it is an important part of the job, managing facilities and budgets and HR and things like that. Really, if you're going to be instrumental in the life of your school, it is that instructional leadership that you're going to be providing and the feedback that you provide to your teachers, and that's doesn't happen in a vacuum. And a couple of years of teaching usually isn't enough in order for you to be able to be an instructional leader, though you could be an amazing manager. And so you can grow into that job 100%, can, but just even taking on the role of a coach, yeah, an instructional coach is a great way to prepare for that instructional leadership that you'll do as a principal or an AP. So have a beautiful rest of the weekend. Continue working on your assignments. And thank you so much for your patience this week. I'm usually much faster at getting assignments graded. Like you, I was stretched this semester with lots of new preps and responsibilities, speaking engagements, some consulting jobs. And I had an article that is in press, and I tried to do all of that, and it was a little bit crazy. So I appreciate your patience and know that I do try to get assignments graded quickly so that you know how you did before you do a bunch of other assignments. So that's always my try to do, and I'll do my best to continue to do that in the course. And this has been News and Notes for week 2. Thank you and take care.